Thank you all again. Keep partying. You can keep partying. You don't have to, you can't stay here, but you got to go somewhere else, but you can keep partying.
In the race for U.S. Senate this morning, one candidate not ready to call it.
I'm not going to, declare victory until all the numbers are in, but I just want to give you guys the sense that this race is over.
And despite what Ron Johnson says, the U.S. Senate race is not officially over. There are still votes to count, and technically it is still too close to call.
Breaking overnight, Governor Evers remaining in Wisconsin's highest office as he's reelected to a second term. We're live at the state capitol with reaction.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Chris Stanford.
Thanks for waking up with us, everybody. I'm Leah Lynchide. Our team coverage of election 2022 continues this morning with breaking results in from overnight.
Yeah, numbers still coming in many races across the state. Updates coming into the newsroom in the last few minutes and overnight. Let's start with some of the tightest races across the state. This one not technically called yet. 3rd Congressional. The AP has yet to choose the winner.
Republican Derek Van Orden, though, declaring victory overnight. He is in the lead by about 4 percentage points. Most, if not all, of the vote in at this hour. However, again, still no official call by the AP in this U.S. congressional district race.
Here's Van Orden's potentially premature acceptance speech overnight.
I will not give up the values that the people of the 3rd District of Wisconsin understand that I hold and share with them, and that's why they voted me into office.
If Van Orden's win holds, this is a flip for Republicans. Longtime Representative Ron Kind has held the district for Democrats for the last 25 years, since 1995. Van Orden unsuccessfully ran against him in 2020, a very close race that year, though, leading to Kind's retirement.
More breaking news in a too-tight-to-call race this morning for U.S. Senate Senator Ron Johnson. He plans to take the stage at 10 o'clock this morning to declare victory against Mandela Barnes. No official call yet on this, and just within the last 10 minutes, we have some updated numbers. Barnes picking up a few votes here. This not as tight as it was. About 31,000 votes separate the two now. 98% of precincts are on 99% reporting here at 6:30 in the morning. Johnson is at 51%. Barnes still at 49%. Again, that margin shrinking by a couple thousand votes. Here's what Johnson had to say to supporters around 1 a.m.
Fortunately, it's still so close. And that's a little depressing, isn't it? That lies can be that effective. And if you ever wonder, quite honestly, why more good people don't run for office, I would just recommend people take a look at the Wisconsin U.S. Senate race in the year 2022, and you just might get that answer.
This race is far too close to call tonight, and there are tens of thousands of votes left to be counted. I don't know about you, but we want every vote to be counted.
Barnes did not take the stage last night. We have yet to hear from the Lieutenant Governor this morning. Instead, he opted to have the VP of the State Democratic Party send supporters home for the night. Votes are still coming in that race.
Yeah, those leaderboards that we air here, folks, they are updating in real time as we put them on the air. Shane Hogan is in studio counting whether Barnes can still catch up. Good morning, Shane.
Hey, good morning, Leah. Yeah, we're going to start, though, with an important number out of Milwaukee County because that's where some of these votes are still coming in this morning. About 12,000 votes left to count. That was from a few hours ago. So Chris just mentioned votes are still coming in this morning, and Mandela Barnes picking up some of those votes. So, a big number, two big counties to look at for Democrats that they needed big turnout. Dane County, of course, Madison, and Milwaukee County. Democrats did very well there. Dane County's clerk, Scott McDonald, saying on Twitter last night that Dane County turnout was as high as possibly 90% in some places. And so those were really big numbers for Mandela Barnes, again, as the votes continue to come in. We're going to zoom out now. There's a few other counties to look at that are telling the story of this race as well for Ron Johnson. Ozaukee County here, north of Milwaukee. This was a big one that is a little closer, a little more purple than people were expecting. You can see here he's got about 58%, but only 87% of those votes coming in. So again, maybe a potential place where Mandela Barnes could pick up some of those votes. Zooming out here a little bit, if you go here to Winnebago County, again, closer than expected. Mandela Barnes doing well there, 93% of votes counted there. And if you go down here to Waukesha County, 87% of votes counted there. Ron Johnson doing well, but again, an area where Democrats really needed to pick up some votes. So again, this is still moving. We're still looking for these more votes to come in. Again, this is not a surprise. We knew votes were going to take some time to come in from places like Milwaukee County, Racine County. We expected this to happen, so that process is taking a little bit of time. We will continue to update throughout the morning as well.
All right, Shane Hogan with that analysis this morning and all morning long. Shane, we appreciate it.
Now to the race for governor and more breaking results in overnight. This one we do know the winner of. Governor Tony Evers has officially been reelected for a second term.
The AP calling that race right around 1 this morning. One of the first they called, really. Evers with 51% of the vote. Republican challenger Tim Michaels at 48. Josh Sprider is live at the state capitol with what both camps are saying this morning. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning, Chris and Leah. Governor Evers keeping his office here at the Wisconsin State Capitol for 4 more years. We're hearing from the governor and his Republican challenger, Tim Michaels, this morning after that race was called early this morning. Here's video of Governor Evers around 1 o'clock this morning speaking to a packed house at the Orpheum in Madison. The AP reporting at this hour he's ahead by more than 83,000 votes. In his speech, Governor Evers says the voters showed up for the initiatives he's supported, from public schools and high-speed internet to women's rights.
You know, I stood here on this very same stage 4 years ago to the day, I believe, and I made a promise to the people of Wisconsin that I would never make promises I couldn't keep and that I always work for you.
I love this state with all my heart. People are... It's the greatest state in the union. There's tremendous work ethic here, great communities to raise a family, and just the most wonderful people on the entire face of the planet.
Tim Michaels conceding just after midnight, calling Governor Evers before taking the stage this morning. He says he didn't know what he would have done differently, ending the evening saying the night just wasn't his. Back out here live at the state capitol again, where Governor Evers will keep his spot in Wisconsin's highest office for 4 more years, with State Representative Sarah Rodriguez now becoming Lieutenant Governor. Guys.
All right, Josh Sprider live at the Capitol this morning. Thanks for your reporting this morning.
With precincts still reporting at this hour, we continue to get you real-time updates on the races in your backyard. Statewide, district, and local results. They're all over on channel3000.com/elections.
We have a lot to get to in the weather this morning. Let's get to your first warn forecast. Greg Barnhart tracking some big temp swings and an alert day in the forecast. Greg?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to have some swings from record heat after that and a bit later in the broadcast.
Greg Barnhart with your first warn. Thank you very much, sir. All right, our Campaign 2022 coverage continues. After the break, we're diving into some of the lesser-known races that could impact the future of elections in Wisconsin.
And UW political science professor Mike Wagner will join us with some analysis and context, plus where in the state we could see more split tickets. We saw some split tickets yesterday that really made a difference. We'll talk to him about a lot coming up after the break.
6:39 now. Let's take a live look outside. We're tracking a warm-up and a cool-down. Greg also forecasting the possibility to see some strong, maybe some severe thunderstorms in that alert day.
Yeah, we have an alert day, in fact, for this morning for snow-covered roads or slushy roads. I'm tracking actually additional snowfall that we could see this evening. I'll time that out, and as well as how much we might actually get from it.
Madison snowplows and crews working overnight for the morning commute. We'll make sure you know what the roads look like if you're headed out.
And we are already seeing spin-outs. Take a look at this one we caught overnight on camera. We're monitoring the metro and letting you know if there are any other crashes that could make your commute even worse.
It's a snow day, folks.
That's one way to put it.
Yeah, I know, because there's 4 inches or more out there in some spots. And schools calling it for today.
Streets and trees are covered. It's beautiful out there, but we do have upwards of almost 4 dozen school districts canceling classes today. Thousands of power outages across southern Wisconsin and really across the state. It is a snow day.
So we have a lot to get to. Let's start off, though, with meteorologist Greg Barnhart with what we can expect for the day. Hey there, Greg.
Hey, yeah, and how much we could get tonight a little bit later in the broadcast.
All right, Greg Barnhart, thank you very much. Team coverage continues to get you out the door safely.
Josh Breider's on the live drive this morning as the morning commute gets underway. What are you seeing, Josh? Where are you?
Hey guys, so we're on the eastbound Beltline heading towards Monona Drive right now. Another live drive update for you coming up here in about 10 minutes, guys.
Boy, things moving real slow out there. Josh Breider, thank you very much. Let's take a live look at road conditions across the southern Wisconsin area. This is courtesy the Department of Transportation. A lot of pink still. That means slippery stretches, but you are seeing more and more green, which is
That's
go. Yeah, across the viewing area. That has really changed over the last couple of hours. We saw those last flakes start to come down around 5. In the meantime, the last hour and a half here, we have seen road conditions continue to get a little bit better. We are keeping an eye on a couple of crashes along the interstate and the Beltline this morning. That disabled semi that Josh was talking about, you can see that along the Beltline there. Otherwise, things starting to pick up, look better for your morning commute.
15,000 customers for Alliant Energy are without power this morning in Wisconsin. That's because of the wet, heavy snow causing a lot of outages really across our viewing area. The heaviest outage area is up near the Portage, Wisconsin Dells, Baraboo area. And in the city of Madison, MG&E making some improvements slowly but surely on the number of outages in the city. They are now down to just less than 1,900 outages. They are, just pockets everywhere. You get, one down tree branch here and there, knocking out power to, a few dozen customers, and it's going to take them a while to get to them all because they're so isolated. So be patient with those power crews today. Hopefully you don't have to go anywhere and you've got reserves if you're going to be without power. Estimated restoration times on this is usually about an hour or two. Again, be patient with those crews trying to get the lights back on in your neighborhood. The Madison Streets Division, meantime, has been out on the streets overnight working to keep those roads clean. The Streets Division's 36 trucks all working the thoroughfares. Spokesperson Brian Johnson says that even with the overnight work, he expects this morning to look a lot like last Friday.
Snow is never easy. Sometimes like the weather just wins. Sometimes, I guess you could say, we'll do the best we can to deal with it, and then hopefully it's mostly rain or doesn't snow as hard as the forecasts say it's going to be, and we'll all be okay.
In some residential neighborhoods, they'll also be sanding hills and curves, those areas that need a little bit of extra help with traction. The Streets Division's passing along the usual reminders here for everyone if you are headed out this morning to keep it slow and give yourself plenty of distance between you and the car in front of you.
Within the last 10 minutes, we're getting an update from City Plows here. Approximately 150 pieces of equipment are going to be out plowing city streets when all is said and done. Make sure to give them a little bit of space, folks. Give them a little bit of grace today as they help us get to our locations safely. In the meantime, make sure you download the Channel 3000 weather app. That's going to give you real-time updates on the roads and the next round of snow expected in the next 24 hours. Just search Channel 3000 weather in your app store.
Different heads up for commuters this morning. Some changes could be coming to Highway 51 outside of Stoughton. The DOT is talking about a potential construction project along a 5-mile stretch of highway just east of town. The plan is to reconstruct the 2-lane rural section, pave the shoulders to help out bicyclists, and add an eastbound passing lane. Right now, construction is scheduled to start in 2026, but you can weigh in on the project and the timeline. There's a meeting happening tonight. It's at the Dunkirk Town Hall at 4:30.
Continuing coverage now, the FBI is offering a $10,000 reward as they continue to try and identify a man accused of robbing several Culvers across the state. He's described as a white man, 6'5", weighing about 300 pounds, with brown hair and a brown goatee. You can kind of see it in the surveillance picture here. The FBI says he should be considered armed and dangerous. He's connected to a string of robberies and attempted robberies at local businesses. Some of the Culvers he hit Lake Mills, Janesville, Mequon, and Beloit. You could see in that previous surveillance photo, he appeared to be driving a red four-door Jeep Wrangler. It did not have a license plate. He allegedly drove up to each restaurant's drive-through window and handed a note to the cashier implying he had a weapon. He's also accused of robbing this Janesville Best Buy store. You can see him in that blue sweatshirt in the surveillance video you're watching right now. If you might know him, if you might have seen him, or you know anything about his whereabouts, call police.
Lawmakers announcing they have reached a bipartisan framework for a spending agreement in Washington that would fund the government through next year. It's expected to cost around $1.6.
We're on the side of fiscal sanity. We're on the side of a process that is transparent so that members and the American public actually understand how the federal government is mortgaging their kids' futures.
$1.65 trillion. That's the price tag. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says that it's either a full-year bill or a short-term stopgap.
In Duluth, the blizzard warning closing down schools early, even shutting down the ski resort for the day yesterday up there. Classes are canceled this morning, too. But take a look at this. Teaching assistant Matthias Gordon thinks this is just a free hall pass. It's an invitation to catch the waves.
I don't know if I can put it into words. It's kind of tough. It's just fun. Any weather like this, and waves come with it, so just take it in stride, I guess.
Okay, if you're not already, come take a look at your screen. These guys are surfing in a blizzard warning.
Something wrong with these people.
Lake Superior can be angry during these storms too, but wow, that's cool. Good on you, buddies. Lake effect snow continues to hit that area hard. Meantime, the city is bracing for close to another foot of snow when all is said and done. Might put a damper on some of the surfers' fun.
Well, glad they're having fun.
Yeah, good for them. That's pretty cool. Hey, it is beautiful out in Madison this morning. A live look out on our weather patio as the snow has really wrapped up. The roads, though, still a little bit messy, especially on those side streets. Greg Barnhart says you're going to have to start preparing for another round, too. He'll be in next with your First Warn forecast.
And we're on the live drive this morning. This is West Broadway in Monona. Mainly wet, but some slush out there. We'll have an update on your neighborhood when we come back. Breaking news this morning, we're learning new information in the deadly incident at the Waukesha Christmas Parade. We're live with the latest.
And we are talking about travel as we go through the next week. We're going to have your day-by-day forecast when it comes to your Thanksgiving plans.
And Rittenhouse protesters, what the Madison Group wants to see changed.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to News 3 Now this morning. I'm Leah Lynchide.
And I'm Chris Stanford. So much breaking overnight this morning from the tragedy in Waukesha. We now know 5 people are confirmed dead, 40 more in the hospital after a driver drove an SUV through a holiday parade last night.
Among the injured are at least 12 children. We're also learning this morning new information on the suspect. A lot to break down here. Josh Sprider is live from the scene in Waukesha right now with all of those breaking details. Josh.
Hey guys, good morning. Yeah, we're live here on the east side of downtown Waukesha this morning where you can see the scene remains active at this hour. You can see the police tape behind me. And this is going to be remaining closed here throughout the day. You can see some of that debris left behind from last night. Just an eerie, eerie feeling. And you mentioned that new information. We are learning this morning that law enforcement officials familiar with the early findings of the investigation telling CBS News it appears that suspect was fleeing another scene, possibly a knife fight when he ran into people at the parade, and that incident didn't appear to be an act of terrorism at that time. Again, that's something we're going to be following. But here's what we're learning from those on the scene last night.
Parade is a celebration for our community. Today, our community faced horror and tragedy in what should have been a community celebration.
But about 4:39 p.m., a red SUV drove into our Christmas parade that we were holding downtown. More than 20 individuals were injured as a result of this incident.
The next thing I heard were screams and turned my head and saw the car come and plow into the band that was just past my balcony at that point.
When I came out this morning to go to breakfast at 9 a.m., everyone had their little chairs lined up to watch the parade because they're super happy. This doesn't happen here. Like, I don't understand why. I really don't understand why. It's just kids having a good time for Christmas, and then this SUV comes barreling through. Like, why?
Authorities tell us they do have a person of interest in custody, and that car has been recovered. At a press conference, they confirmed an officer shot at the SUV to try to stop the driver, but did not say if the driver was hit. Authorities say this area of the crash will remain closed until this afternoon. They're asking that once the area is reopened, any items for a memorial be placed at Veterans Park. And we expect to hear from police later on this afternoon with any new details regarding this incident. We're going to be here covering it all from the very beginning all the way through the day, guys. You can look for updates right here on News 3 Now and, of course, over on channel3000.com. But truly heartbreaking here. You know, you heard in that video there of these folks just trying to celebrate the holidays. It's supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year, and something like this happens right in their own community. That hits very, very close to home this morning, guys.
And that scene's so eerie, too, with all of those leftover chairs empty this morning. Just heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is. So we know that Waukesha schools are going to be closed today. And just within the past few minutes, Waukesha City Hall is going to be closed today as well. They're going to have a news conference at 1 p.m. that'll be open to the media. We will try to bring that to you as it happens. Josh Sprider live in Waukesha this morning. Thanks, Josh.
We are also learning this morning President Biden has been briefed on the incident in Waukesha. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki tweeted this morning the president was briefed and is receiving regular updates. The Biden administration also working with local officials to offer any support and assistance as needed.
A Catholic priest among the injured yesterday. The Archdiocese of Milwaukee released a statement last night saying, "Our prayers are with the people who have been injured and killed during the tragic incident in Waukesha. Please join us in praying for all those involved, their families, and those who are traumatized from witnessing this horrible scene." News 3 Now will be reporting on this story all day and in the days to come. And as we learn more, you can read about it at channel3000.com and the News 3 Now mobile app. .652, time for the morning sprint.
We're taking action with team coverage to help you get to the polls and vote today. We start with Josh Sprider downtown.
Good morning, guys. We are 9 minutes away from polls opening across the state of Wisconsin. 13 hours of time to be able to get to the polls today, so plenty of time to get out the vote. In Wisconsin, polls are open from 7 this morning all the way to 8 o'clock tonight. Elections officials say as long as you are in line by 8, you will get to vote. We will be live throughout CBS Mornings and later on channel3000.com with complete live coverage.
And we have an easy way for you to find your polling place. Just head over to channel3000.com/elections. You'll find an election polling tab. That's where you'll find a link that will take you to the My Vote page. And all you need to do is put in your address, and it will show you exactly where you should head today to cast your vote.
Shane, thank you very much. Another reminder, you need to bring an ID with you to vote today. Some of those double as proof of residency if you need to register to vote as well. A couple options up on your screen include a Wisconsin driver's license, a U.S. passport, or a campus-issued ID card.
Some more helpful information for you. You do have the right to leave work to get your vote counted. Per state law, your employer is required to give you up to 3 hours to vote each election day. It doesn't matter what size or type of company you work for. For your part, you're supposed to let your boss know before election day if you plan to leave to vote. Your boss doesn't necessarily have to pay you for that missed time, but they can't penalize you in any other way.
You can find all this information, again, over on our voter information guide, a really great resource for you today. Find everything you need to know on channel3000.com/elections.
750,000 Wisconsinites have already voted. In blue-leaning Milwaukee County, almost 1 in 4 registered voters have cast their ballot. In red-leaning Waukesha County, the third largest in the state, 27% of registered voters voted. And in battleground Kenosha County, about 1 in 5 registered voters had already cast their ballot.
Across the country today, Republicans are trying to ride a red wave to retake control in Congress. Democrats hope to buck the trends and maintain their majority. Former President Trump, meanwhile, says he'll be making a big announcement next week, waiting until after the midterm so he doesn't distract from those races. This after teasing a presidential run in campaign stops all this week.
A Wisconsin man has been charged in federal court with threatening Governor Tony Evers. According to unsealed affidavits, Michael A. Yeager from Windsor sent threatening emails to the governor October 27th. A Dane County detective says that he recognized Yeager's email because of other threat investigations that date back to 2010.
Up in Heartland, police have new information about a house fire in which 6 people were found dead by gunshot wounds last month. Officers say the woman, originally believed to be killed by her husband, along with her 4 children, actually died by suicide. Initially, investigators reported only the husband had a self-inflicted gunshot wound. They later found text messages between the couple relating to the case. Those messages have yet to be released. To the south, Florida bracing for yet another hurricane 2 months after Ian devastated the state. The National Weather Service says Storm Nicole is expected to hit the Bahamas tonight before making landfall on Florida's east coast Wednesday. Nicole is also expected to bring a dangerous storm surge as far north as Georgia.
Still waiting to see if you've got those lucky Powerball numbers from the nearly $2 billion jackpot. Well, the Lottery Association says one of the 48 participating lotteries did not submit their sales and play data prior to the drawing. They say that the official winning numbers will now come out sometime later today.
It's going to be a dry election day for you. Temperatures will be warmer than yesterday, warming up into the low 50s, maybe even some mid-50s for your highs this afternoon. Cloud covers on the increase this afternoon and evening. Look for mostly cloudy skies tonight. Lows will be into the upper 40s, right around 50. This sets the stage for a very warm tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies, but we top out at 65, 70 on Thursday. But then the cold front comes through Thursday night, down to 34. That's our high on Friday. And then we'll start talking about teens for overnight lows and chances for flurries in the week to follow.
Ooh, giving us that first warn for some serious winter weather headed our way.
Getting colder out there.
All right, Chris Reese, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
All right, we'll have an update live from the polls here on Election Day 2022. They open up in just 3.5 minutes. Keep it here on News 3 Now all day, folks. 6:52, time for the morning sprint. Let's get out to Lake Wingra, where Leah Linscheid is out on the water encouraging everyone to drop off some school supplies today. Hey, guys.
Good morning, Chris. Yes, we're out here for our Fill the Boat initiative, hoping we can inspire you to stop by this beautiful venue at Lake Wingra and Wingra Boats to donate supplies to that rowboat right there on land. I'll be out on a kayak all morning, hoping you'll stop by, drop off a backpack in my boat. You have the opportunity to drop off supplies all day here at Lake Wingra. You can find all the details up on channel3000.com.
All right, get on out there, folks, or go to the Amazon wish list. You can find it at channel3000.com. The DNR is investigating a possible oil spill in northern Wisconsin. Department officials say an Enbridge Inc. contractor found soil suspected to be contaminated along the company's Line 5 pipeline. The area is about a mile west of the Bad River Band of Lake Superior Reservation. That's right near the town of Ashland. Enbridge says they haven't found a leak in their Line 5 pipeline that would have caused contamination, and DNR officials say they haven't found any additional evidence so far. UW's new chancellor, Jennifer Mnuchin, is going to start her second day on the job today. Yesterday, she kicked things off with a little ice cream on Bascom Hill. Mnuchin was the former dean of the UCLA Law School. Her hiring not without controversy, though. Almost immediately after the regents announced their decision, several state Republicans blasted the decision, calling it a partisan selection. Juneau County community getting ready for a big event this weekend. The village of Necedah is holding the Real Freedom event tomorrow, where all profits go to nonprofits, helping those affected by human trafficking. The day will include 5K, 10K, and half marathon, as well as some art, craft, and vendor fair, and a pancake breakfast. It all happens in Necedah at Lions Park. What a week it is for Leroy Butler. Last night, the former Packer was introduced before the Hall of Fame game and saw his locker in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Saturday, tomorrow, the inventor of the Lambeau Leap will be enshrined in NFL history, becoming the 28th Packer inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Former Badger, meantime, Vince Beagle's season is done in Baltimore before it even got started. The first-year Raven suffered a torn Achilles at practice, so he will miss the entire season. It's Beagle's second torn Achilles in 3 years. He suffered the same injury during training camp in 2020 with the Dolphins. 4 people have life-threatening injuries after they were apparently struck by a lightning near the White House last night. Medics rushed 2 women and 2 men to an area hospital after they were hit at Lafayette Park, which is about a block away from the executive residence. No further information was immediately available.
We are planning out that day with sunshine. Look for temperatures warming up into the mid and upper 80s for your highs this afternoon. You'll see a little bit of humidity, but it could be worse. Otherwise, today, look for sunshine. 80s for all of us. We'll cool down towards 71 overnight tonight. Partly cloudy skies tonight, partly cloudy skies tomorrow as we heat things up towards 92. The bottom line, this is what I want to leave you with. It is sweaty on Saturday, wet on Sunday, refreshed Monday and Tuesday. By the way, I need to give the rightful shout out to our new meteorologist, Greg Barnhart, for coming up with the terminology today. So that is on him. I just got to use the graphics, so thank you, Greg. But that's what we're looking at.
All right, thanks, Chris. And we encourage everybody once again to get out to Lake Wingra and donate some school supplies to our back-to-school supply drive. Have a great weekend.